Good day everyone. Today I'll be presenting about climate control, but we're going to focus on how one meteorological variable influences others. So, let's start. First, let me read to you our learning objectives. Define meteorological variables, identify examples of meteorological variables, and explain how these interactions influence weather and climate. Now, what is climate control? Climate control is a process that naturally regulates the conditions in our atmosphere. It involves different meteorological variables like temperature, air pressure, humidity, wind, and precipitation, which constantly interact with one another to maintain balance in our environment. So here are the 5 key meteorological variables that play a role in climate control. First, temperature affects how warm or cold it is. Second, air pressure influences the movement of air or wind. Third, humidity measures the moisture in the air. Fourth, wind carries heat and moisture. And lastly, precipitations refer to rain, snow, or hail. Now, let's briefly discuss each and how they are interconnected. Temperature affects air pressure. When air gets warmer, it expands and becomes lighter, causing lower air pressure. On the other hand, cooler air is denser and heavier, leading to higher air pressure. Air pressure differences then drive wind. Wind moves from areas of high pressure to low pressure. The greater the difference in pressure, the stronger the wind. Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. Warmer air holds more water vapor than cooler air, so when temperature rises, humidity often increases as well. When air with high humidity rises due to warm temperatures and low pressure, it cools and water vapor condenses to form clouds and precipitation like rain or snow. So I have here an example scenario of how they interact. First, high pressure is equal to low pressure. When the sun hits the Earth's surface, the air above it warms up too. Warm air is lighter and less dense than cold air. So as it hits, the air pressure in that area drops. Low pressure draws in air is equals to wind. Nature always tries to balance differences in air pressure. So one area has low pressure, air from nearby higher pressure areas rushes in to fill the gap, and that movement of air is what we call wind. Warm air carries more humidity. Warm air has higher capacity to hold water vapor. As the temperature rises, evaporation increases, and the air can carry more moisture. Rising air cools is equals to clouds and rain. The warm, moist air rises because it's lighter than cooler air. As it moves upward, the air cools down. Cooler air can't hold as much water vapor, so the moisture condenses into tiny water droplets, forming clouds. If enough moisture accumulates and the clouds grow heavy, it can result in rainfall. So to better understand, I have here a diagram showing how meteorological variable interacts. First, solar energy hits the Earth's surface, increasing temperature. Rising temperature causes air pressure to drop and increase the humidity as warm air holds more moisture. Differences in air pressure generate wind. Wind transports air masses with varying temperature and humidity, leading to rising air, cloud formation, and precipitation. Now, why this is important? Understanding how these variables interact is important. Why? Because it helps meteorologists predict weather accurately. It also makes us aware of how climate change affects our environment. Knowing this allows us to prepare for disaster, protect crops, and stay safe during extreme weather events. Thank you for listening. I am Nikki Lampon, your presenter.